Tesla just posted a record-breaking quarter, net income of $438 million. Revenue surged by 74%. A lot of this was due in some part to cryptocurrency because they bought about $1.5 billion in crypto. Earlier in the year, they sold some of that. We'll get into that a little bit more later. But anyways, Tesla, they just reported their first quarter results for 2021 in their earnings call. The company beat expectations by a lot. Earnings were 93 cents per share versus 79 cents per share, which were expected. The revenue was about $10.39 billion versus $10.29 billion. This is up 74% from just a year ago. And this is pretty impressive considering they had 0 new Model S, Model X vehicles produced in the first quarter. They had a couple thousand deliveries, about 2,000 delivered from old inventory, but they had no new Model S or Model X vehicles produced. So this is pretty impressive considering they're not even running at full capacity. Right now, they delivered 184,800 vehicles first quarter of 2021. Most of them were like Model 3, Model Y. They were those vehicles, the Model S, Model X, really barely anything. In the earnings call, they explain how the Model S sedans will finally be delivered to customers in early May of 2021, sometime in May of 2021. So it should be coming out very soon, which is great news. A lot of people have been waiting a really long time for this. So it's about time that they get these actually out to customers. And they said they're going to start, their goal for the rest of 2021 is to start producing 2,000 Model S and Model X vehicles per week later this year. So they're trying to get that ramped up, trying to get this starting to get off the production line because they haven't been able to do anything with these vehicles in a little while, and they're expecting about 750,000 vehicles this year, total deliveries. A lot of people were expecting they might be able to get to 1 million, but it doesn't look like that's the case. They projected about 50% year-over-year growth, which means they were at 500,000 last year, so 750,000 this year. Another thing to keep in mind is their revenue from their energy generation, energy storage business nearly doubled for Tesla versus the same period in 2020. And this is pretty big. Revenue is doing pretty well in this section of the business. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that they have had a lot of issues with their Tesla solar panels, Tesla solar roof. There have been a couple issues there, which I'll go over in a bit as well. Either way, though, they had a much better quarter than people were expecting. Actually pretty surprising considering they're not really running at full capacity with all of their factories. One thing that has been holding them back is that Deliveries unit sales grew 100% year over year, but service centers only grew by 28% year over year, and mobile service fleet only grew by 22% year over year. So the service aspects of the business are growing a lot slower than the total number of sales. So this really shows that this is why people are having a lot of delays, having a lot of trouble when something goes wrong, because service expansion simply isn't able to keep up with how fast they're getting the vehicles off the factory line. So if they're selling, 100% more every single year, but their service centers, the fleets to help you with your vehicles are only growing at 20%, well, you're going to run into a problem eventually. And basically now they're just trying to catch up with everything.